Welcome back, everybody. A New York judge set March 2026 trial for the It Ends With Us lawsuit between film star Blake Lively and director Justin Baldoni.
She said, no, this does not work for me. I am Blake Lively. I have my children are the godchildren of Taylor Swift. We get what we want in life, and right now, I want your movie.
Just when Blake Lively, Hollywood's golden girl, thought she had come out on top in this messy scandal against Justin Baldoni, Candace Owens came in swinging with details so shocking you'd wonder what she was thinking, or if she was thinking at all. From calculated media cover-ups to a shocking web of deception that goes so deep, Owens is spilling it all. And the wildest part, she came fully loaded with receipts. She's clearly a woman on a mission, and what she revealed will undoubtedly send Lively scrambling for damage control. Buckle up as we break it all down.
Yesterday on Friday, Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, amended their lawsuit against Blake Lively, and they included the New York Times data, which we showed you guys on the show.
You know what happens when an underdog gets into a dispute with an elite? Everyone supports the underdog. But in this case, that didn't happen, at least not at the beginning. Baldoni was getting battered left to right after Lively filed that crushing lawsuit against him. It was him against the world, as no one would take his word for it. And in that moment, Lively felt invincible. She felt she had triumphed in her mission, but how wrong she was. Now she's got the incredible Candace Owens breathing down her neck, exposing all her secrets and lies.
Blake Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan, was planting stories negative to Justin.
Now, if you haven't been following this real-life soap opera, you're probably wondering, how did we get to this point? Why is Candace Owens so invested in this drama? And how did Lively go from being the hero and star of the show to the ultimate villain? Well, to get the full picture of where we are now, we've got to hit a quick rewind. It Ends With Us was supposed to be the movie that propelled Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively's careers to new dimensions. It was a passion project for Baldoni, but also a career-defining movie for him too. Even Lively, who's already a star, would have benefited massively from the success of this film. But instead, it became the story of one of Hollywood's biggest betrayals. While there have been rumors of tensions between the stars floating around, the drama exploded after Blake dropped a career-ending lawsuit on Baldoni in December. The 160-page lawsuit was filled with so many graphic details, you could make a miniseries out of it. She accused Baldoni of several things, from harassment to allegations of toxic behavior on set. To add cherry to the cake, she also accused him of running a smear campaign to tarnish her flawless image.
But now that the public is onto us and they see how cruel we've been, we would like things to be quiet, and we want a judge to see our side of things. Girl, goodbye. Like, just goodbye. It's like the fakest thing ever. She's now fake Lively, crying Reynolds.
Baldoni was pretty much cooked when Lively filed that lawsuit. Everything was suspiciously aligned in such a way that he was cornered completely. From the New York Times article to the timing of the lawsuit, one thing was clear. Lively was battle-ready. Her PR team and her legal team had everything on lock, and it looked like a slam-dunk case on Baldoni. Lively has been in the game a long time, so she knew the internet would lose its mind when the news of the lawsuit dropped. She was perfectly positioned as the victim of the story, and Baldoni was set up as the villain. Within hours, he was in the hot seat, getting crucified from every angle. Everyone wanted him canceled and dealt with. No one really cared if Lively was being truthful. After all, she was the big star. She's also a woman and a fan favorite. But just when it looked like Baldoni was done, he flipped the narrative in the most daring way ever. And now, he's got personalities like Candace Owens backing his fight, something he'd have never imagined when this drama started.
Blake Lively's dominated the media. What they did was they worked with the New York Times. Her publicist worked directly with the New York Times. They shared illegally obtained text messages.
Now, if you don't know who Candace Owens is, let's just say she's an explosive personality who doesn't give up once she catches a whiff of power abuse. She lives for exposing the truth, and once she's fixated on a scandal, she doesn't miss. The moment she figured out the shady things Lively was doing to Baldoni, Owens made it her mission to obliterate her credibility and expose the secrets and the lies that have been concocted around her lawsuit. But she knew she wasn't going to achieve anything if she didn't have concrete receipts to back up her claims. So what did she do? She went full detective mode. And trust me when I tell you, the things she found were mind-blowing. Owens' first point of research was the suspicious New York Times article about Baldoni. This article was as damning as it gets. It painted Baldoni as the true villain, while it portrayed Lively as the victim. But what really caught Owens' attention was the convenient coincidence between the time Lively filed her lawsuit and the time the article dropped. It's almost like the article was a precursor to the lawsuit, like they were trying to set the tone. So she dug deeper, and you won't believe what she found. After a deep metadata analysis of the article, she finally figured it out. It turns out her hunch about the timing of the article and Lively's lawsuit was right after all. The sole purpose of the article was to tank Baldoni's booming reputation as the hot new young director in Hollywood. Once a reputable platform like NYT publishes a negative article about you, that's all it takes. You'd be guilty as charged, and that's exactly what Lively wanted. That was the moment Owens knew that this whole drama was a carefully calculated takedown, and the article was just one of several chess moves in the game to destroy Baldoni.
I walked you through the New York Times metadata and showed you that this woman had posted on X and essentially just like blared it out to the world, and we showed you how you could right click and look at how they embedded all of these messages that show October 31st potentially.
Baldoni had initially dunked a $400 million lawsuit on Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, but the moment he caught a whiff of Candace Owens' research on the NYT article, he slammed another $250 million lawsuit on the media giant too. At this point, Baldoni had turned the whole drama on its head. It's clear he wasn't going down without a fight, which kind of surprised Lively and her team. They thought it was going to be an easy beatdown, but to their surprise, they realized Baldoni is more than just the hot looks. He brought the fight straight to them. But you know what's crazy? Even though Baldoni's case was getting stronger thanks to immense receipts and Candace Owens' analysis, Lively only doubled down. She knew conceding defeat so early would automatically make her look guilty. So what did she do? She ran to the judge to request a gag order against Baldoni and his lawyer, Brian Friedman. Not only is it a weird move, it's straight up hypocritical. The same Lively who weaponized the press and dramatized her lawsuit to the world now wants to curb the opposition from doing the same. She didn't have any problem telling her story, but she's got plenty when Baldoni tells his. What an ironic situation to be in.
On Monday, they're going to court because two things. Blake is trying to gag them. I don't think that's going to go through. How can you try to say you're playing this in the press when the entire reason we got here was because you tried to play this in the press? Like, you went to the New York Times to try to take him down and to set a public narrative, and now that it's backfiring, you want out.
Baldoni knew the court that mattered the most in his fight was the court of public opinion, and he was already at a severe disadvantage when the NYT article dropped. But he wasn't going to bow out with his tail between his legs. If Lively was willing to play dirty, then she should have no problem tussling it out in the mud. And now that Candace Owens has been able to prove that the New York Times article about him was indeed planted, Lively's entire narrative collapsed in real time.
Brian Friedman, you don't like him because he played your game better than you. Like, you guys went to the New York Times. Oh, nobody could be bigger than the New York Times before you filed your lawsuit, as all of the evidence is indicating, because you wanted to set the public narrative against Justin Baldoni. Now,
but Candace Owens wasn't done with her. She already caught the scent of Lively's well-concocted lies, and she wasn't about to let her off the hook. But this time, her focus isn't really on Lively herself, it is on her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Not only did she accuse Reynolds of collusion, but she straight up called him out for being the real mastermind behind this whole fiasco. Yeah, you heard that right. Deadpool has been pulling the strings behind the scenes big time. Candace revealed she got an insider tip from a very reputable source who worked on the entire movie set of It Ends With Us. It was this source that confirmed her suspicions that the entire lawsuit wasn't even Lively's idea. According to this unnamed source, Reynolds has always been deeply insecure, jealous, and very controlling since his wife got the role. It's almost like he didn't want her to spend so much time with Baldoni, which was impossible because he wasn't just the director of the movie, he was also a co-star.
Felt that Ryan was kicking up some dust because he didn't want to leave Blake Lively alone with Justin Baldoni because he's away in the UK. And then I was positing that perhaps when he got home, he was either reading her text messages, reading through the dailies, reading through the script, and he just decided, okay, you know what? This entire production needs to be halted. I don't trust my wife, okay?
Candace basically unveiled Ryan Reynolds' true color behind the scenes with this explosive tea. While the world might see him as the goofy, lovable Deadpool on screen, in real life, he's the polar opposite. He's cutthroat, vicious, and very calculating. If Owens' claim about the insider source is to be believed, and let's be real, she never speaks without concrete facts, Reynolds is far from the carefree Mr. Nice Guy personality everyone believes he is. Just imagine if Baldoni hadn't kept receipts of conversations conversations between him and everyone involved in this drama, his Hollywood career would have been toast, and Lively would have ridden off into the sunset without a care in the world. But do you know the wildest thing about all this? Reynolds himself specifically reached out to Baldoni to establish some sort of friendship. After all, his wife is going to be working with him for a few months. Baldoni, who was in awe of everything Reynolds had achieved in Hollywood, didn't know there was nothing mutual about him reaching out. According to some of his receipts, the first favor Reynolds would ask Baldoni was to make him move their production dates 2 weeks earlier. You were probably wondering why he'd ask that since he wasn't cast in the movie. Well, it's because Ryan doesn't want to be apart from his wife, and Baldoni, he agreed to push the dates to satisfy his co-star and her husband's needs.
He then moves immediately to ask Justin Baldoni to change their production dates because he's never been apart from Blake Lively so long.
But what did Baldoni get in return? Betrayal of the highest order. He was accused of the craziest things, and his movie was snatched away from him while he wasn't looking. But taking over the movie wasn't enough for Reynolds. He wanted the world to see Baldoni as a monster. And he did everything to achieve that, starting with the promotional video of It Ends With Us.
Let's talk motorcycles here. Do you ride?
Yeah, a little bit.
What kind of bike do you like to ride?
I mean, anything with 2 wheels and kickstand, right?
Honestly, that could be anything. I mean, as far as I know, you just described, riding Stephen Hawking through the Nevada desert in the middle of a summer heat wave. He's not going to make it.
Ryan?
Yep.
You want to take a break?
From Blake? Sure.
You know what's weird about the context of this video? It was pretty easy to denote that it was some sort of diss at Baldoni. If you read the book that inspired the movie, you'd know better why this promo video was unnecessary. It was completely offbeat. This right here feels like a parody, a silent message to Baldoni. But that isn't all. Reynolds managed to use his good friend Hugh Jackman in his shenanigans.
No.
It's not every day a guy gets to interview the love interest of his best friend's wife and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband and me as his best mate.
Holy shit.
So listen, I've just got one question. What the hell are you doing messing with my best buddy's wife?
Sir, I have no idea what's happening at all today.
It's clear Reynolds really has a bone to pick with Baldoni. There's got to be more to this matter that we don't know about yet. Did Baldoni munch on his favorite cookie? Or was it the other way round? We probably won't know if they don't tell us. Credible insider reports just confirmed that Reynolds was behind Baldoni getting dropped by the biggest agency in Hollywood. According to the reports, Reynolds, who is also signed to the agency, demanded that they throw him out, which is exactly what they did. The moment Lively filed the lawsuit, they dropped him like trash.
Personally, and you can take this to the bank, I am telling you right now, this is a fact, this has been confirmed to me. He tried to get Justin Baldoni dropped from WME multiple times before they did.
One certain thing is that Baldoni is far from a lost cause in this fight. He's a severe underdog, no doubt, but he is fighting like someone who's got nothing to lose. And to be honest, that's the only way. His catalog of receipts and impeccable legal team just might save his career in Hollywood. But this drama is far from over, and the likes of Candace Owens keep digging for more dirt on Lively and Reynolds, and the more they find, the better it gets. If you don't want to miss out as this drama unfolds in real time, you should leave us a like and subscribe to our channel.